Good morning to you. Good morning. Hey, boo. You ain't got the intro this morning. We ain't doing the intro this morning because I'm coming to you live like I do. That's the beauty of the show, honey. I am live to you from Chicago at my sister's house. And I'm here because I threw my daddy a surprise party. It went freaking amazing. Couldn't ask for no better day. So it's going to be a different type of day. There won't be a word of the day. There won't be too much of my craziness just because, number one, it's cold, it's gloomy, and I'm just not in my ailment. I'm in a new place. So we're going to make it new. And today we're talking about setting boundaries and the importance of setting boundaries. Why is it important to set a boundary? Like, I want your input. Why do you think it's hard for people to set boundaries, and what are boundaries? Boundaries are when people asking you to do things that you know you just really can't do right now. Whether that means go to a store, babysit somebody, whether that means anything out of your realm of what you don't want to do, that is a boundary. And like I said, since I'm coming to you live, it's cold outside. I'm going in the house. So we're going in together. This show is going to be a different type of show. So as always, I'm going to encourage you to go to YouTube or watch this live on Facebook if you are listening, because it's going to be just what it is. Hold on, y'all. Yes. So we're going to talk about setting boundaries and what that looks like. What does that look like to set a boundary? That looks like being unafraid to say no. That means sometimes you just can't. It just is what it is. And I know that sometimes that's one of the hardest things to do because when you love people, you do your best to make sure they're happy. But you can't compromise your happiness for somebody else's happiness. So sometimes it's okay to just say, I can't, even to yourself. Because sometimes we set expectations that goes way beyond what we can reach right now. It's a moment in time, right? We put these standards up for ourselves, and sometimes we're reaching a little too far. So you got to just start somewhere. But boundaries are really important. And I really want to know what you think about telling those certain people no, whether it's your spouse, your kids, yourself. Because when you don't set boundaries, what you think happens? You wear yourself out. You tire your body out, you tire your heart out, you tire your mind out. And you are overly consumed with what you're trying to do for somebody else. And oftentimes that puts you on the back burner and you forget what's really important. So it's important that the boundaries you set are the ones that you chose for you. And I know y'all probably wondering, like, where's courage and wisdom? Well, this is going to be one of them type of shows. Because not only am I out, but they are out too. So let me throw that out there. That's why you just got all the strength right now. There is no courage and wisdom. See, I'm probably going to have to move forward. But really, what does that look like for you? Hey, Frank. Hey, Tremaine. How y'all doing, honey love? And we will talk. Hey, Jerry. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. We here. We made it through, y'all. Can't ask for nothing better. But let me talk about my weekend just for a split second. I came to Chicago because many of you know my dad wasn't sober for my childhood or anything, but he is now 17 years, and I'm proud. So proud that I wanted to throw him a surprise party that was like a celebration and we create new memories. You know what I mean? Nobody was high out their mind. Wasn't no fighting. It wasn't the old. It was new. It was fun. It was laughter. It was love. And at that event, I had to set boundaries because I was doing too much with certain things. And thank God that I had my sister, y'all, because listen, had it not been for them and my auntie, I wouldn't have made it. I really wouldn't have made it, like real talk. But you can tell I'm all over the place just because my mind really wasn't focused on the podcast this week. I was really focused on my dad and this event and just making sure it was something out of the ordinary. Because the goal is to create new memories. Because a lot of times we focus on everything that happened to us in our past that our future isn't so bright. It's dark because you focus on everything that went wrong back then. So it was great and it was beautiful. And the boundaries that were up made it even better because people got to see us shine. And it kind of pissed some people off because we was happy. When I tell you we was happy, child, listen. We laughed so hard. We cried in a good way. It was different. It was so different. My daddy kissed me on my lips. I I felt the way. Listen, now I'm gonna tell y'all about it on my other show. I felt the way, but that's how I know he was excited. He was overjoyed, like, and that happiness made me happy. And watching like my family mingle, and it wasn't through death, sadness. It was love and happiness and expression and just good feelings. So it was a great day. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. That was my weekend. It was amazing. But I'm learning the importance of setting boundaries, and I know it's not easy because it's not easy for me. It's hard to tell somebody who you love and you don't want to see hurting that I can't do it right now. Thank you. I love you too. But you know, when you set a boundary, sometimes it's in your head, sometimes you gotta write it down, and sometimes you don't even know you need one because you're just going and going and going and going. And then you find yourself just can't go no more. You weak, you tired, you exhausted, you ain't got it in you. But that's how you know it's time to set a boundary. Whether it's for yourself to say, I just can't. That don't make you weak. That don't make you less than. It makes you human. We all that, right? It makes you human. And when you don't, just embrace the fact that you're human and you try to be something that you're not. Stroke, heart disease, diabetes, like people don't realize all these illnesses usually come from stress. And stress comes from a lack of boundaries. Everything coincides with another. So I'm saying it to say set boundaries. Say no. Hold on, my loves. Wait a minute now. I just realized I'm on my phone, but I got my queen on the team. Down. Hey girl, hey.
Hey,
We can't hear
how are
you.
you?
I'm good. How are you? You cute, girl. You cute. Okay,
Hello.
I see
Can you hear me
Junior.
now?
I can hear you now. But wait a minute, because you lagging somewhere. So let me get my king on the scene on the team.
Yo, oh my god. Yo, we all, I don't know if you touched on it, but we all rushed to get here at 1 o'clock. I had
What?
doctor's appointments all day, and I literally just got home. I'm starving. So I'm going to be eating my
Wait a minute.
nuts.
We got to You eating your
You what?
nuts.
I'm starving.
The,
Wait, Facebook user said, "Hey, Facebook user, I can't. Hey, Kevin, I can't see who your name is, Facebook user, but great comment. Set boundaries can uh, set boundaries. I'm just learning to do this, and especially with my family. See, I can't even this phone thing. This hey, it is what it is.
Yeah. We still in
we
Chicago?
all our minds mixed up too. So
But yeah, this is gonna be a fun show. As I was telling our friends, we are all over the place. I'm in Chicago still, and yeah,
Why'd you bring your
y'all doing it.
laptop?
oh, we are bad. Can y'all hear me?
Ooh, I can hear you. Strength is, listen,
Okay.
guys, if I have to take over the episode, I'm more than happy to do that. Yo, me and
But who?
Courage are gonna have to like hold it down.
She
Yeah.
started talking.
Listen, if I fade out, you definitely got to make sure you pop in here. That's why I ain't on here by myself. I got my team. So if I fall
Yeah,
flat, you know what to do.
I got it.
Okay,
But
but
we don't.
remember, we talking
Why
about
did you
setting
bring
these
your computer
boundaries.
though?
I did, but it didn't charge. It's stuff.
Mm,
It's been a situation all weekend. People energies try to come in place with negativity all weekend.
Mm-hmm. All weekend.
All
All
weekend,
weekend.
the devil was lurking, and I refused
I
to let him
felt,
be busy.
I felt it too this weekend.
And this is why this show is perfect because I put up some boundaries, and it made me realize the importance of setting boundaries, even with not just with yourself, but people who you didn't realize you had to set boundaries with.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
But no matter the age, you got to remember we always teaching people how to treat us.
yeah,
We're always teaching
absolutely.
people how to treat us. And hey, David.
What's up, Ma?
So y'all, to the people I didn't show, I just realized how to show the comments from my phone.
That's okay because I can't even read them. They so small. But
I can. Happy Monday, Jerry.
I mean, how
Yeah,
y'all got
John.
y'all
Oh, Kevin.
pretend?
Who's Kevin? Is that your dad?
No, that's my husband.
Oh,
Oh,
what up, G?
hey, Kevin.
But no. So, what do you guys feel? Courage, tell me your opinion of setting boundaries.
Hi, y'all.
What up? What up?
Well,
That's my
I've
sister,
been
you
reading.
guys. That is Tawanda. She does amazing hair. If you need to hook up, hit my inbox. You in Chicago, South Side? Let me know. I got you. And just so y'all know, that is my brother Jamon in the background. Y'all know Mon. So
Mhm.
that's who you hear in the background with the South Side thugging it out.
Got you. Got you. Got you. What's funny?
All right.
He want to see
What up?
What up?
Hey.
Hey, I met her the last time.
y'all. Yes, that's courage and wisdom.
Hi.
Hi,
Hi.
buddy.
Y'all see that switch up though? You see
I
the
Yep.
did.
switch?
You was like, what up? Oh, hi.
It went from what side like a thug.
Yeah.
No, but real talk. So this weekend I learned that even with my elders, boundaries are important because at no age do you stop teaching people how to treat you. And if you don't set boundaries in your life, people will
And
perceive.
I think we get stuck into that where just because we supposed to respect our elders and they don't get to the point that hey, we're not kids no more. We are grown. We are where you at. So just like we need to respect you, you need to respect me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But not even, like I said, it's not even just with elders. That was just my example for the weekend. But you got to set boundaries literally in every aspect of your life.
With
How you feel about
everybody.
that,
With
Wiz?
everybody. I realized because I was kind of like I used to call myself a doormat because I let everybody walk all over me when I was younger. I didn't understand setting boundaries was so important until I got older. And then once I got older, I still and to be honest, I still struggle with setting certain boundaries with certain
Hmm.
people. Right? I think we all do that.
Yep.
But the the more the more you get comfortable with yourself and
Yes.
your
That's what.
own identity, you become more comfortable with
You
setting
hit the head on the
boundaries.
nail. I mean, the nail on the head. When
I
you
was like, "What?"
you hit the nail on the head. When you said being more comfortable, that just lets you know you got to be self confident in order to set boundaries. So you that was dope.
Yeah, every once in a while, I'm holding out of my butt. You know.
No, but no, that's real talk because think about it. When you timid and you don't have confidence, you allow people to just do and say
Yep.
Oh
whatever.
yeah,
But when you're
I am a
strong in
strong
who you
business
are
success.
and you know you and what you willing to accept and what we just ain't gonna do, you speak on that and you're able to set those boundaries and say no. We're not
yeah.
doing this today.
What you saying, Courage? I'm sorry.
I was saying that I am a very good example of that because the more that I was reading about setting boundaries, the more I realized that it's a lot that I let go in my lifetime that by not setting boundaries, not saying no, not just being like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And then it was like a checklist and it talked about like how you just give in because you don't want conflict. And Joy, you were speaking on it when I was coming in our backstage. How not by saying no, no can lead to stress, can lead to stroke. And the more I was reading about it, I was like, that's why I'm sitting here like this today, you know. And sometimes you gotta make that change. Once you know, once you learn and you know better, you gotta do better.
That part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And to kind of piggyback, we haven't done that in a while. And to kind of piggyback off what you guys were saying, the self confidence and the awareness, right? Because
Yeah.
we all been in that situation where you feel like your own fiber, right? Your own being is like, I don't really agree with that. I don't drive with that. But you let people kind of, to avoid conflict, like she was saying, courage. You allow people to kind of get away with certain things, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it may be your own friends or family
Yeah.
that you don't want to
Mhm.
have these certain conflicts with, but at the
And
same
your
time,
relationship.
yeah, and at the same time, like you have to allow yourself to be like, you know what, the breath, the it stops here. You have to have a cutoff line, because if not, it's gonna continue, and the more it continues, the more it becomes normal, and the more you let it become normalized, the more it's gonna eat at you
Yes.
inside, because you're not agreeing with what's happening, but because you don't want to be, um, conflict, or you don't want to put, lead up a wall right between you and the other
Mm-hmm.
person. You allow them to mistreat you, however
Right.
that
Mm-hmm.
may be. It may be a backhanded compliment. It may be, like I had for instance, my best friend. I had to like I didn't want to have any issues with him, so I never was like, "Yo, I don't like when you do this. I don't like when you do that." Um, it wasn't until I got a little more confident in who I was that I was like, you know what? Like, I know I didn't say this before, but I don't agree with this. And then
Yeah.
that person, when you go through that, they should have that understanding that, okay, well, I care for this person. What I'm doing is bothering this person, so maybe I should like allow that person to kind of speak what they want to speak and speak their truth. I hate using that word. Um, but that's beside the point. Allow
Well, I mean,
yourself.
you just got to know the truth. I believe a boundary is also willing to look and learn a person and acknowledge a person of being who they are.
Mm-hmm.
because you can sit up there and be like, and you it's constantly over and over and over, and you be like, okay, you're not respecting me. You want me to always give in to you. You want me to always change for you. But then when I'm in my shell, you don't even care. So it's like, okay, so I'm supposed to be miserable while you have it, everything okay. And that's when they come in when you're supposed to set your boundaries and say, hey, no, this not working.
Right.
And that goes with all walks of life, all kind of relationships that you have in your
Every
life.
relationship.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if it's your girl, your man, whatever, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your best friend, or a perfect
Work,
stranger. You have to
co-workers.
Every
you have to
relationship
have
needs
boundaries.
boundaries because
Yeah.
without them, the world is chaotic. And that's just in every aspect of it. You have to have boundaries because without them, you don't know where you're going. You don't know the extent. You know what I mean? You just going to keep going and pressing the envelope. But it's like there's no point of that. Brother say, speak that truth. You're talking to wisdom, I believe so.
I think
But
you don't know yourself. If you don't set, I feel that by setting boundaries, and I'm just talking now by reading up on it because I can be truthful and say that I never set boundaries in my life, and that's why I've been treated the way I have been treated. And people been
yes.
taking advantage of the kindness of me, of the kind person that I am, that I just go back and be like, okay, just let it go. That it's to the point now that it's burning up inside of me, and now they come with something I be wanting to lash out like, no, I'm not doing it. I might say a
Right.
little cuss words, but they
Right.
see a different side. They see a different side of me, and then that's when they be like, "Oh, you bipolar." No, I just got 20 years worth of built up
Yeah.
in me.
But you made me think. You even got to set boundaries with our life as a stroke survivor. You know that, right?
Mhm.
Being a stroke survivor, you got to set the boundary of how much of that part you're gonna focus on. The stroke
Yeah.
part. You know what I mean? Instead of just focusing on that you human and you trying to learn new things. Period. Not that stroke. Period. You know what I mean? So literally everything we do, whether it's people, actions, everything requires these boundaries, and it's so hard to do it because it's like certain things should be. How can I say? Certain things should already be known to a degree.
And the sad part is those things should be common, but they're not so common nowadays. And that's the sad part.
Yeah, that's the truth. I'm trying to get used to. I'm not used to that part yet.
Mhm. That's what
It's
it.
just
That's what that when you go from boundaries to expectation, you expect
mm,
people.
Yep.
That's when you come out that category of boundary. There, I'm expecting you to treat me like this. I'm expecting you. So if I expect you, then I'm not letting you know my boundaries because I'm expecting you to already know
Right.
my boundaries. And so it's in this
yo,
world.
hold on. I'm supposed to be wisdom, and I'm supposed to come up with these gems. Look at courage, yo. Look at courage.
Come
Okay.
through with it. Ow. No.
Now,
I ain't gonna, okay, Will, so I ain't gonna take over.
no, you're good. You're good. No, but like there is truth to that.
Yeah.
Like having expectations, right? You expect those people to treat you a certain way, and when they don't treat you that way, that becomes resentment. That becomes a whole bunch of other feelings, right?
Yeah.
And when you finally put your foot down, like Kurt was saying, it comes off like, oh well, you're okay with me acting this way up until this point. Well, it's because I
Right.
didn't have confidence in myself, and I didn't have the gravitas or whatever to tell
The
you
strength.
different.
Right. I ain't had the strength. Like real talk, because that's what it takes.
The main thing they're gonna say, "Oh, you didn't change." No, I haven't changed. I've been like this. It just been hidden
Mm-hmm.
inside of me because I haven't let you know
Or you didn't see it because
real
you didn't pay
me.
attention to what I was telling you the whole time. But
Yeah,
now that I'm telling you like what it is, you can finally see and hear. And so now it looks different.
yeah.
Hmm.
I come to the theory. I was reading, I was thinking about it, and I was like, going through life, and I'm only talking for myself, not setting boundaries, not being able. When you don't set boundaries, they talk about that you don't really know yourself. So basically, you're not living. You just stuck in this cage.
Yeah. Facebook user says, I need to start setting boundaries with people that take advantage of me. Yes.
Yes.
Or they will absolutely keep taking
and that
advantage of
and
you.
taking advantage comes in all shapes and sizes, right?
You better
And
say
comes
that.
in all different
Mhm.
kind of ways. That doesn't necessarily mean they're taking advantage of your money or your
Right.
situation
Mhm.
or
Right.
whatever. That can be
Mhm.
taking advantage of your kindness or taking
Mhm.
advantage of the fact that you're willing to be the bigger person in a conversation.
Absolutely.
That one gets taken advantage of a lot,
A lot.
unfortunately.
It really does. And I'm glad you said that because to piggyback off that, that is a normal thing that hold on, stroke brain.
Okay.
I don't think that's stroke rain. I think that's you partying all weekend and now it's Monday.
Yeah.
Look, there could be some truth to that too. Look, Dad, if you watching this, I blame you because I did this for you.
We all got the Monday blues today.
Yeah.
You know, but that's real. Wait, let me go back to it. Say your thing again one more time. Let me catch it.
Taking advantage of people's what they're comfortable doing, right?
Oh yeah,
So go ahead.
I kind of remember now. I was going to say something about people even take advantage of like you being quiet, like you said, taking advantage of you being a bigger person, and
Hmm.
that
Mm.
leads to, like you said, that resentment, and it looks like hatred, but it's not really. It's just we didn't set those boundaries and put it on the table of what needed to be expressed to begin with. So there was no expectation. I guess
Mhm.
they one and the same almost. Well, they coincide.
Yeah, that's a better word. Go inside
Yeah.
or
Mm.
coexist. And I like this is something. It's kind of like funny that we're talking about this topic this week because like that's something that's written on the back of my mind um, with setting certain boundaries with like even some of my friends. Because like usually I'm, like for instance, I know I'm diving deep here, but I text you guys every morning, right?
Mhm.
You
And
guys
we
always get
appreciate
back
it.
to me every
Mhm.
day. I appreciate that. The same way you appreciate me reaching out and saying good morning, right?
Right.
Not
Mhm.
everyone does that. Like they
Right.
don't have time. They don't respect your time. So
Mhm.
I'm taking time out of my day to say, "Hey, good morning." The least you can
Mhm.
do is return the favor and say good morning back.
Right.
Like that's a boundary that I decided this weekend I'm no longer gonna do. If you don't have time for me, I don't have time for you, and
That
that's me
part.
setting a boundary. Like I'm not gonna
That
allow
part.
you to think that I'm
Mhm.
a nice guy, right? To say the least, and have you just come into my life whenever you feel pleased,
I'm
whenever you
out
feel
of
like
here.
it's appropriate, right?
Yeah.
So that's a
Mhm.
form of setting boundaries as well.
Wow. Look at God.
So
Seriously.
the depth of Google says that setting boundaries means the ability to say no, to stop allowing people to export or manipulate you.
Mm.
Acting in this way means that you respect your life and your interests and acknowledge that your own plans, goals, and tasks are also important.
Hmm.
And that has a lot to do with your self-esteem. Hmm.
Yeah, it goes on to say one is a form of self care, self confidence,
Yeah,
and so that means we need to
absolutely.
work on that.
I actually did a little research on this topic, and I found a
Mm-hmm.
quote that I would love to share with you guys. Let me find it.
Francis said,
Mm-hmm.
"Amen."
Yes, ma'am. Oh, they said,
Okay.
"Hey, man!" Or
You look. He missed you, Francis.
I did, even though you were ripping on my toes, but whatever. That's a whole nother subject. But anyway, so this quote is by Adeline Birch, right?
Okay.
That's the author of the quote. And the quote says, boundaries protect the things that are of value to you. They keep you in alignment with what you have decided you want in life.
Mm,
That means the key to a good boundaries is knowing what you want.
Mm.
So that's very like it hits home because when we tell you to set boundaries, you also have to know what your boundaries are, right? Like
Right.
what
mhm,
are you okay with and what are you not okay with? Once you
mhm,
figure that out, you'll have a better outline of what it means to set boundaries and what it, like that quote by Alan Birch said, you gotta find out what's good for you in your life, right?
mm,
Don't set boundaries to fit the prerogative and the narrative of somebody else. Make your priorities for
mm.
you first.
Absolutely. Because without making a priority for you, you can't be no good for nobody else in real life.
Yeah.
If you miserable, that energy that you exuding is going off to all those people around you. So it's like that's unnecessary baggage. That's unnecessarily, I mean, not unnecessary bad energy. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be able to disperse that by setting those boundaries so that you can, what's the word I'm looking for? Let me say dismiss that type of energy. Damn, hell, wait a minute. I'm over
What are
here
you
having,
doing?
I was having a hard time. My head went in my glasses and
Oh,
it was in
okay.
my eye. And you see it is not the other one in the other eye.
You. Never mind. You already have one arm. I was like, move it. There we go.
I'm like, yeah, no, you see?
My bad. My bad. No, but that's like and I want to open up to the comment section. What is something that besides setting boundaries? What is something that you struggle with in your life? If you're comfortable, leave it in there. We'll explain ourselves and give you our opinions on that matter. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, we also want to help the community, whether that's by answering questions, um, allowing you a safe place to kind of get
Mhm.
out. Sometimes you just need to get it out. Feel free to do it in the comment section. There's people here that have love to
All
give.
come to you.
What?
Sign up for our weekly meeting on Friday if you wanted a private and one
Oh
on
yeah,
one.
yeah, 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 yeah. If you're not comfortable with putting your business out there, come to one of the
I
support
want
groups.
what I want y'all to do is tell people, give them an example of a way if they're having a hard time with setting boundaries, saying no. How would you say? What advice would you give them?
Ah man, and this is perfect because I struggle with the same thing, right?
Me
So
too.
I'm also talking to myself here.
Uh huh.
Um, being being confident, being okay with your situation, right? Like you're not gonna make everyone happy. Like get that out of your head. Like there's no place in this world where you're gonna have 100% approval rating and
That's right.
everyone loves you. It doesn't happen. So to protect your own inner peace, um,
Mhm.
be be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Unfortunately, setting boundaries is an uncomfortable thing. If you're not used to it, it can be very uncomfortable. So I would say get comfortable with that feeling and understand that you're not gonna make a fan out of every single person that you
Mhm.
have in your life. Unfortunately, that's what it is.
It
So
just
when
is
you
what it is. Yeah.
yeah, when you
Yeah.
allow yourself to process that and take it in, it becomes easier to kind of, well, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing this. Perfect example. When we were 20, right? We we're going out. Oh, I'm going out. You didn't ask where. You were down, right? Now I'm in my 30s. I'm like, well, who's gonna be there? How are we getting there? Like I
Mhm.
have
You
several
want to know some
questions.
stuff, right?
I want to know some stuff before I'm like, yeah, because I don't want to get into a situation where I'm uncomfortable and now I'm stuck.
Mhm.
Right.
So be okay with asking these questions, and if that person doesn't agree with what your questioning is, or is not agreeing with what you want in your life, that person probably shouldn't be in your life.
Yeah.
It's called a spade, right?
Mhm.
You have to. Man, what you
Well, you
call
better
a
speak.
spade
Well,
a
you
spade. I'm always like, let's
I'm gonna
call a
eat a
thing a
I'm gonna
thing.
eat a cashew to that because I did a
okay.
good job.
You about to cat what?
He about to eat a cashew or nut.
Oh, you need cashews? No, but really, something about you said call a spade a spade. I was just talking about call a thing a thing. And if you're
Mhm.
not able to call a thing, you're not gonna be able to set boundaries because you're not saying what is. You
Hmm.
pretending as if it's not existent. You know what I'm saying? Even within self. That's why I said sometimes we even gotta set limitations and boundaries for ourselves because we overdo. But courage, if you had to give some advice to somebody about setting boundaries, and it was like, oh, it's so hard for me to say no, courage. What would you tell
I'm gonna tell them when they start saying no. The more they start saying no, the more they gonna release from themselves. The more they gonna gain happiness. The more their life is gonna look so much brighter. And as Wisdom was saying, people when you set boundaries, it casts out those that's not supposed to be around you.
them? That
It
part.
casts out the negativity. It
That
casts out the ugliness, the darkness, and your life become more brighter. Your life become more bright. So you thinking by saying no is a bad thing. It's
it's a good
actually a
thing.
good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your release field. That's your release button. Cause
Yeah.
you releasing yourself from being under other people control.
Yep. And that don't even just mean the word no. Yeah. That means what you won't accept. I'm not going to
Mhm.
accept that. It ain't got to always be a no thing. It's really just what you won't allow in your life. That's the importance of boundaries. And as Courage said, your happiness will elevate on a man. Listen, it will plateau on a level you've never seen before because that burden of I got to do this for them and I got to do this and I got to do. Trust me, I know what that's
Mhm.
like. I do it to myself a lot sometimes, for real, for real. And I think it's because as a survivor, real talk, I'm so busy trying to make sure not only that I build this foundation, but I don't feel like what happened to me. You know what I'm saying? So I think
Mhm.
sometimes I overdo because I don't want to be seen as just that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
And I was talking to actually today my
uh-huh.
speech therapist about how now I'm more comfortable with telling people what it is compared to who I used to be. Because before I tried to make everyone happy. I
Okay.
try to like
Yeah.
even at my own expense and my own sanity. Like
Mhm.
if I didn't want to like ruffle any feathers. There we go.
Let me
Um,
say,
if they don't
if they don't
bring
It,
add
peace or
peace and
positivity to
positivity
your
to
life,
our life, your children's lives, remove them, no matter who they are or title they hold. Facts.
that's a lot. I respect that. That's a lot easier said than done. Unfortunately,
True, but it's necessary.
it depends. It is necessary. I agree 100%. I don't know who you are, Facebook user, but
It's
I
facts.
definitely agree. I definitely agree.
And I'm learning that though, because like I said, the older you get, now I understand why grandma and them used to always say things like, you'll find out or you'll learn when you get older. Because the
Hmm.
older
mhm.
you get, you realize what's important. And you realize a peace of mind is more important than a fake relationship.
Yeah.
So it's better to just remove certain things from your life because why keep it?
Absolutely,
right now.
and in reality, if it's not okay right now, probably not going to get better later. You know, a lot of people, no, real talk. A lot of people are like, "Oh, it's just uncomfortable right now. It'll get better later." Probably not, right?
Right.
Let's be real. Let's be real.
That's right.
Um, if you're going through nonsense right now, at the beginning of a relationship, for a fact, what's the word? An example, right? If you're in a relationship and it's not okay in the beginning, how do you expect it to be okay down the road, right? In the beginning, it should be nothing but roses and butterflies. Everything should be pretty. If you're beefing with somebody off the rip, you probably not, it's not gonna get better. So
Well,
set,
I won't say that fully, because really all it takes is communication, and but it takes for both parties to be open enough for it, and they got to be willing to accept the other person's boundaries. Period.
but
Like,
that's not always gonna be the case.
yeah,
In
that's
a
what I'm saying.
perfect
It's not
world,
always the case on either side though, so we
yeah.
ain't gonna say it's not gonna get better because that's kind of negative. That ain't
Listen,
always the case. You know what I'm
listen. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
saying? That's fine. And mine is mine, and I'm sticking to it. And I'm saying that's not the case all the time. With communication, this is why our world is where it's at. Because
It's
communication is
my
what we
thought,
all
and
lack.
I want it now.
What
Wait a
was
minute.
that?
I'm a little
I
bit
said it's
cuz from the
my
other world.
opinion, and
What's
I
up,
want it
Joy?
now.
Oh
What's
yeah.
up, wise people? You don't know how deep this goes. For real, for real. You
That's
my
what she
big little
said.
cousin. This my cousin. Oh, hey, cousin. I got a lot of big little cousins though, but I love you, baby. Whoever you is,
I
right?
can't keep up with your family anymore, Joy. To be honest, you
Hey, I
got
love the support.
cousins and
This is what
sisters and
support look like.
brothers, and it's too much.
I told you, it's a lot of us. We ride deep in this mud.
I see that.
No, but this
Well,
is so true.
I seen my friend on one of your pictures. Let me send a shout to. Hey, Sean.
Who?
She talking about Sean.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
Sean.
I don't know who that is. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
No, but it's real life important, guys, and that don't mean just say no to every now. Now, listen, if you one of those people that really say yes to everything, yeah, I watch your kids, yeah, I do this for you, yeah, I go, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Make you a no day. Well, legit, that whole day. Anything anybody want from you is just no, no,
No matter how big or how small,
no.
you say no.
Period. Because for real, people start to take that, and what we say, that kindness for weakness, and
Mhm.
they'll keep and keep until you ain't got nothing left, even emotionally. And that's why I said the things you will accept. Because if you keep accepting things that's bad for you emotionally, mentally, you're gonna be ripped up and tore up. You can't keep doing that to yourself.
They gonna take everything.
Francis say big facts. You have a lot of support. I'm learning that no word.
And I was
So
gonna
we
say
get.
too. Hold on, my bad. I was gonna say I use this analogy with spoons, right? Spoons. Um, you have a certain amount of spoons that you are allowed to give out on a daily basis, and not everyone
Mhm.
is gonna replenish those spoons, right? So when you become one of those people, like Joy was saying, where you're like, yes, 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 those people in your life get used to taking your spoons and not putting them back. And then they're gonna keep on taking. And then at the end of the day, you have no more spoons for
Yeah.
yourself. So
Hmm.
what are you gonna do?
Cause say people take advantage of those yes days. So taking the time to say no is part of like taking a mental health day for yourself. Or you will not have the energy to say yes to yourself. Facts.
Facts.
Big
Like
facts.
like Joy, like you say that part.
That part.
But that's big, big ass facts. That's where your self care come in at. And if you're so busy doing yes, yes, yes for everybody else, where you got time for you? You didn't forget the me, my, I. That needs to be a part of your life too. and then you can create balance. That's what boundaries is about. Just creating some balance because the world is already just full of crazy with chaos and just endless nuts. And like
Speak it up.
sometimes you get these things that you can't control. Like, strokes and jobs and
Mhm.
all these things that you gotta do and deal with. Even your kids. But even you gotta give them boundaries. Even with your job, when they want to give you overtime at work, it ain't always about the money.
Mm.
Don't take that time. Go home. Be with your
Guilty.
family. Go ahead, courage.
Guilty.
See,
I said I was guilty of that. Like anytime they put up, they needed hours. I felt like I couldn't say no. I went to work. I went to work. I went to work. And I look back and be like, it's been 2 weeks before I had a day off.
see.
And, even though I was tired, I still felt like I had to be there. And and we talk about how the expectation and setting boundaries. So if you presume that someone should already know to have expectation, and you're not setting boundaries for yourself, then what are you doing? Is that coming to where you lean to you sacrificing? You
Hmm.
making a sacrifice for yourself?
Sacrificing yourself and your
And in
happiness.
Mhm.
reality, you're not doing nothing but working for a couple of dollars an hour. You're making these people rich and filling up their pocket for your own sanity and your own peace.
Yep.
You gotta value yourself first and foremost. Because at the end of the day, when you die, right? You
That
don't take
part.
the company with you, right? Your
Mhm.
company don't care. How many times you got released from your job or got fired and you're one of the best workers you put 10
Hmm.
years in for what?
For
To make
nothing.
Exactly.
somebody else money?
For nothing. I did 15 and had a stroke and I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing to show
Mm-hmm.
Well, how many times
up.
have you tried to force something that the other person just don't want? Like a relationship.
Mm.
Set a
Oh, that's
boundary.
some sick. That's so sickening.
What's so
That,
sickening,
That's a
courage?
topic for a whole other show. That's a
that,
topic for a whole other show.
Yes, because when you die, they will just replace you.
and
That's
pay them
facts.
more.
That's true.
Yo, perfect example. I was one of the top workers at my job before I had my stroke.
Uh huh.
Once I
Mhm.
had my stroke, it was like, oh, get better. We'll have your job when you get better.
Hmm.
The fact that it took, obviously, I had a severe stroke, so it took longer. I'm still in recovery, but it
Mhm.
took longer for me to. I thought it was gonna be I'll shake back in a couple of months, no problem. I didn't realize I was talking out of my ass. I didn't know, you know, but
Me too.
they didn't wait. They waited like 3 months and they moved on, right?
Right.
And that's the unfortunate truth we live in nowadays. You sacrifice so much for the next man, and that time. How many times in your life have you looked back and been like, I should have done this differently?
Mm.
For real.
How many times do you go through that before you realize I should matter first? I should put my priorities before I put on the next person's priorities,
Right.
because those bills keep on coming, right? Those moments become far few and less between. Like with your kids, for instance, Joy, they're only gonna be little for a little bit of time. Now you got young men, and before that they're gonna
Mhm.
be grown men. They're
Right.
gonna move out.
Mhm.
So take advantage of the time you have now and prioritize instead of making that extra 46 hours, 48 hours at work. Work your 40 and go home and spend
Right.
time with those and prioritize what's important to you because life is real short. And
Mm.
we all know,
Hey,
especially us three.
Yep.
I realize I'm at the halfway point. I feel like that don't mean I'm gonna die when I'm 80, but
Yeah.
my good years ain't many left. Of that movement, and I already move like I'm 80 because of
Yeah.
sugar. So it's like if I don't set a boundary for how much I just focus on trying to get money or trying to build even this foundation, I still have to set boundaries and take time for my kids to enjoy those moments with them and for myself to just woo side. You know what I'm saying? So that's hard to do though, because like you said, we live in a world that number one, if you ain't got nothing, you ain't gonna have nothing like in real life. If you ain't working, you ain't got nowhere to stay. If you ain't building nothing for yourself, you're gonna always be working for somebody else. So it's like it's almost a catch 22. Like, which way do I go? What do I do?
Yeah.
So it's
Ooh, going back to what I was saying, I totally forgot. When I was talking to my sweet therapist today, I told her how much I value my life now compared to the person I was before I had my stroke.
mm-hmm.
I didn't value certain relationships or certain times. It was kind of like my 20s. I was like, fuck it. Like, I always grew up with that notion that your 20s were meant to fuck off, right?
Right.
Excuse my French.
No,
But
we always yep.
yeah, and then you start getting serious about life at 30. And it's like, not really.
Right.
Now I'm 35 and I look at life completely different because I had my trauma.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, it took my trauma to get to this point.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's why it's important for us to teach kids too, whether they your kids or not. You know what I'm saying? You remember how back in the day, anybody off the street could have really talked to you if they was an elder and there wouldn't have been a problem
Yeah.
because they schooling you about something. But don't nobody do that no man. But it's important to teach these kids that you better start planning now because we realized after you graduate high school, we thought it was a joke back in the day because we were silly little children. But once you graduate high school, it seemed like those years just flew by. And you ain't set no boundaries for yourself. And so now you don't know which way to go. And you stuck.
Stuck like Chuck.
It's it's a what else gonna call it? A conundrum, but that ain't it.
That's a good word though, conundrum. I haven't used that word in a while. Good
Right.
word.
Thank you. But no, I forgot the word I was gonna say. But anyway, um, long story short, and the whole reason behind this show, guys, is we reminding you whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, everything in your life needs boundaries because without them, chaos will run amok, and it will just be a endless. Hey, beautiful. uh,
Uh-uh.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna
I'm
do it.
waiting on Wilson.
Yo, well, you already know. We had this
Yeah.
conversation. We had this conversation.
say it now. I want to know.
Okay, well, we had a production meeting, right? And we were saying that Joy gets so much love
Oh,
because
you know what? I wouldn't even. You know what? Okay.
I wasn't trying to put our business out there. You were like, go ahead and
I
say
You,
it.
was
I'm
waiting
sorry.
on
You're
it.
right. You're right. I did it. I set it up. I'm sorry. That was my own fault. And the encourage ain't no good. She just gonna sit up there. I know what's gonna
Paris,
happen about
Paris saw that from the very beginning. She was like, oh, Junior gonna say
look,
something.
they be
Wisdom is
looking
gonna
for
say
something to
something.
get me for.
I was waiting on it. I was waiting on it.
And I just want to let everybody know. I know right now everything's empty and it's looking crazy in my room. I'm in the middle of moving, so for the next little bit, you're gonna see like things move out. The TV, I think, is going away next week, and then the beginning of April, I'll be coming from my new apartment. It's gonna be all set up. It's gonna be set up the way I want it to look. so it's gonna look completely different. But that's why you don't see my little trinkets and stuff on the wall and like my little posters. Just
No.
FYI, I'm not a crackhead and I'm not selling all my shit. We're good.
You know what? Anywho, boundaries, guys.
Thank
They
you.
are not easy to set. What would you like to
Yeah.
tell the people, Courage, about these young boundaries?
You'd have to. I mean, it's a must that you set them because, as was stated before, if you don't set them, you're gonna be stuck.
Hold on, Courage,
Mhm.
just for wisdom. I gotta let him. That's just
No,
for
that's why I said thank you and give thumbs up. Finally, I got some love, but it's okay. Keep going. My bad, Courage. You go ahead.
Wait a minute. Joy and wisdom is not the only one on this show. Now I got
Don't start, because last time you didn't make any comments unless it said courage in it. But whatever. Let's not listen. We had a great show. Let's not get off the rails here. Let's finish strong.
continue to tell the people how to set boundaries.
hold on. Let me get my brain back to it because it went left. It went left. Let me get my brain back to it.
That went to the stove.
No, starting today, we need to set. If you're not setting boundaries, set boundaries.
Courage.
Mhm.
You're
Oh,
beautiful too, Courage.
you listen.
Hey,
Comments. It's too late. It's too late. You know,
Somebody,
you
it's
know,
too late.
we had to call you out before you did something nice. Go to the corner and think about what you did. We're setting boundaries.
okay, well, they just congratulated you on a new apartment. They told me enjoy. We was beautiful.
But that was
So,
that was after the fact, Courage. That was
You know
after
what?
the
You better
fact.
take what you can get. Listen, I
No, no,
understand though. I
yeah.
understand. I understand.
No, finish saying what you were saying, Courage. For real.
oh Lord, if you want to be happy in life, you need to set boundaries. If you want to
Absolutely.
feel more worthy and have self confidence, set your boundaries. Don't go through it. Don't have another day just saying yes to anyone because you don't want confidence. Do not sacrifice nothing for nobody else. That's all I have to say for
That's
right now.
good right there, though. That's
My brain is all over the place.
Actually, I want to challenge. I want to set a challenge to everybody, right?
Oh,
Everybody
oh.
watching, set one boundary and let us know what that boundary is, right? Set one boundary. We're not telling you to change your whole life. Just set one boundary.
just
And I
one.
guarantee you that one will snowball into many. You're gonna be like, oh, that's a lot easier because it's so daunting in your head,
Yeah.
right? It becomes a thing. Oh my god, I can't do this
Mhm.
because I've been doing this for so long. Do one, then move on to the next one, then move on to the next one, and before you know it, your life becomes more peaceful. There, you
Mhm.
allow good people into your life, and all the toxic people to go away,
Uh-huh.
and eventually you're gonna get to a place where your mind becomes clear and you allow yourself to prioritize yourself. So one boundary, do one boundary this week. That's the challenge.
Okay. And remember, guys, that's actually a healthy relationship. That's what a healthy relationship looks like. It has boundaries. You
Mhm.
teaching people how to treat you when you set boundaries. Period. Ain't no other way around that. And if you don't do that, people gonna treat you how they want to treat you, no matter if you like it or not. So boundaries are important to your well-being, to your mental health, to your physical well-being, because all this stuff eats literally at your body from the inside out. So please make sure you set boundaries, know your worth, know how valuable you are. Don't forget to wear your crown and put your lantern inside that crown. That light is radiating all over your body. And if ain't positive energy, it's bouncing back. That's what your boundaries look like. If it ain't what you want, it's bouncing back. So let that go. We love you much. And we thank you so much for being here.
Yes,
Until
ma'am.
next time.
Peace out.
Come